Guys, UnoPro back with another live. Now I released 2 lives today, including this one, and if you've watched that one already you'll know that my other one was also including a deck by No Ways J. That was a Cassiva deck. Now we're doing an Argeon deck, and I really wanted to try out his deck because it's really cool. He's having success with it. He's a really strong player, as I've said before, and I really like the deck. I like the idea, I like how it's trying to approach the meta. So let's get straight into it. So 2 Magnetize. Now why are we playing Magnetize? I thought this card was bad. Well, it's really good against Demonic Allure. Really good against Cassiva, and that is the deck you want to beat. It lets you play aggressive, and then they need to deal a whole 10 damage to your Ironcliff Guardian. If you don't fall too far behind, it's really good. Makes Ironcliff Guardian super hard to answer. Okay, I'm going to 2 Divine Bond, which seems a little bit counterintuitive, but we can't have too many situational cards now that we also have Magnetize. So 2 Sunbloom, still pretty good, lots of Dispel targets. Wingblade Adept, all pretty sound. 2 Martyrdoms, not something I'm a massive fan of, but the deck's probably not aggressive enough for Repulsor Beast instead. It's still a good early tempo player, good against Earth Sisters, good against really hard to deal with threats. Can be a little bit hard when trying to rush them down, but this deck plays a little bit more mid-rangey. So the rest not too much to talk about. Only 2 Holy Immolation is actually a big one, which I actually kind of like. People are really good at playing around Holy Immolation, and Argeon already punishes being ahead on board really well, which is when Holy Immolation is really good. So I kind of like this. I might go back up to 3, but definitely haven't been missing it too much. 3 Dancing Blades, 3 Ironcliff Guardian, and 2 Elite Stormblade. So definitely a very proactive deck, as you can see, with less Holy Immolations, that kind of thing, and only 2 Martyrdoms. But still pretty mid-rangey, not an aggro deck in the normal sense. And definitely, that's what I kind of like about Argeon, is that it's really important for him to know when to switch gears, and that's similar to Songhai in a sense, where so you're switching from board control and value to face damage. And evaluating that point when you can take over, especially with Argeon, is really hard because you don't have that much out of hand, burst. So it will be interesting to see, and still testing out the Magnetize, but it's been okay so far. And I think the times that it's really bad when you have an Ironcliff is when you're already really far behind. So it's not really a problem with Magnetize at that point. Okay, so Magnetize obviously not something I'm going to keep in my opening hand. The rest is decent, except we're versing a Lilith, so Arcade Regalia is kind of hard to get value with. So yeah, I will have actually done 3 videos today, so trying to pump out that content, because I'm someone who watches a lot of videos myself, and I go to watch Duelyst, and there's a couple people that make videos, but it's just not that regularly compared to something like Hearthstone. So obviously I can't fill that void completely myself, but I'm trying to do what I can. Nothing to talk about there, just play your double 2 drops, never going Tiger there, and obviously playing the Lion safer. So we did take out Tempests for the Magnetize, which is a little bit worrying in this matchup, because the reason we took out Tempest is because this matchup is not very common at all. And that is a worrisome card. Let's go to this. So I think we just go Ironcliff here. We need to kind of just ignore this. So giving him Duelyst gives him a target to kill it off. And we'll just stall. Gonna make it really hard for him to deal with. If he has Dark Fire Sacrifice, it looks like he might. Obviously we can't play around that in any sense of the form. So this could be a Vorpal Reaver pretty easily here. It's not the worst thing, it's still just a 4-mana Vorpal Reaver. But he gets to kill off as well. So he does have Vorpal Reaver, which is pretty annoying. This one might just be a loss. That's a pretty hard start to beat. We didn't draw any Sunblooms or anything. Get rid of Idolatus. We can martyr him, but then we're giving him so much value. Can't even get out of range of one of the hits. Let's just do this. If he kills us, he kills us. Like, it's just pretty unfortunate. I mean, he can defy Crescendo, we're dead, but he's gonna get 12 damage in at least. I don't want to provoke. I don't want him to kill this easily. I want to at least get some value out of it. He killed me. And we're not going to kill off with Martyrdom, give him so many 1/1s and all the options in the world how to capitalize off it. So not something we can do. We need to at least Martyrdom and do something else. I mean, he's had double ritual banishing for both of our Iron Cliffs. What are you gonna do? Alright, we kind of have to do this, obviously. So there's 3 here, 4 in Ranger here, so I guess this dodges the most damage. I guess we just try and block damage. So I guess we can hope the rest of his hand is dead draws and then something. I don't know. This one's looking pretty over. We didn't replace anything like we replaced Magnetize and Arclight Regalia, so I don't think there's anything we could have done differently. We could play Duelyst, play around Ritual Banishing more, but then he can just kill. It doesn't need a Ritual Banishing, he just kills it off for free. So that's hardly better. I don't think there's a way out here. So if we get Holy Immolation off the top, we'll be alive. Or we're just dead now. If we get Holy Immolation off the top, like, we might be alive. No. I mean, what are you gonna do though? It sucks, but it happens. It's the nature of card games. And I mean, it's not a matchup. I guess like we get punished for having Magnetize instead, but there's just nowhere near enough Lilith on the ladder to justify that at this point. So we would have had Tempest in hand. I mean, I guess it would have been an empty board. He would have been out of Martyrdom Tempest at some point, I think, if we weren't running Magnetize. But I mean, it's not even really worth mentioning. And then he's still got tempo and everything, so what are you gonna do? Him having double Ritual Banishing and our hand kind of dictating that we need to go Iron Cliffs is kind of probably the bigger problem almost than the Arm 7. Because Darkfire Sacrifice does the same thing. So hopefully we do a little bit better than that one. And if you guys want to see any factions, I know I mainly play like Songhai, Lyonar, Vitruvian, and a bit of Abyss, but I'm happy to learn other factions and practice them a bit more. If that's something you guys want to see. So there's one in particular you really want to see, let me know, and no guarantees, but I'll try and incorporate it if I can. So I managed to find the only 2 Liliths left on the ladder. I don't know if I versed like maybe 1 Lilith today, and then I start this video without Tempest, and I guess the Duelyst gods don't want me to run Magnetize. So it's a decent hand. Arclight Regalia is a bit sketchy. What is this? Running into some weird ones on video today. I might actually go double 2, threaten to go to 5. Because the 8th Master doesn't really want to trade in anyway, and it's hard for him to block. Spectral Blade. I guess this is better against Spectral Blade, but I don't really think that's that big a problem. I'm not going to play this here. I'll let him have a free trade on the one that can threaten to ramp. Dancing Blades actually can be pretty good with the 8th Master on board, obviously. Might actually... It's going to be interesting if I get rid of Divine Bond or Silverguard Knight. So I guess we can suspect like a White Widow or something. So there's the Spectral Blade. I wonder if he might actually be greedy and go here. Oh, that's a mistake. Like, maybe we can interpret that as having an answer for Ironcliff, but I still don't know if I would ever do that. Let's get rid of Divine Bond. I think we probably still just do the Dancing Blades. It doesn't die on board. Yeah, I like that a little bit more. And if he has like a ritual banshee or something, we obviously want that on the Dancing Blades instead of the Ironcliff. It does suck that we have to move out of, you know, this corner, away from this corner, so we can't get the Jaxi spawn for free. This deck doesn't really have any good answers to Jaxi, or mini Jax, apart from just, you know, getting it with damage or a Tiger. But I mean, it's not something we can afford to change. I mean, I guess that's another reason to consider Ironcliff there, but yeah. His play definitely indicated the fact, by letting us map to 5, that he has an answer for an Ironcliff. And obviously, playing Dancing Blades there is better when he has an answer to Ironcliff. And I think for the first time in about a month, I got a lucky Jaxi spawn, so I am not going to complain about that. It does feel like I've been getting a bit unlucky with those lately, but definitely very, very fortunate there. I think this is just an Ironcliff turn. We've seen a... I'm not going to think too much on that one. We've seen a Ritual Banishing there. We're just going to play into it. Getting that Divine Bond back is really good. And because I have the second Ironcliff Guardian, I don't need to be cautious. I'm just going to try and run him out of threats. I'm not in a position where one Divine Bond will win the game. But that's kind of what you have to do with Lyonar sometimes. You have to assess when you can just play safe with it and when you can just try and run them out of threats. Okay. I mean, yeah, okay. So I'm gonna kill it. So I mean, I guess that makes Ironcliff a better play this turn. So we'll get rid of this. That's pretty good. I really wanted something so this could live. Okay. We'll get the value trade. And then I moved it like this. A little bit clumped up for like Grasp of Agony. But it's a bit fringy, long cards, and we get to use our Bloodborne spell, so I think that's definitely worth doing. And our hand's looking pretty good. Okay, so we do another big removal, and we got that on our 3 drops, so that's pretty awesome for us. So we're going to keep clearing camp. Because we have Divine Bond, I think that Ironcliff is just a bigger threat. This also works well against if he has like a Demonic Law, so we'll do it that way. Is there anything to position around? Kind of like just this. So like just the general like neutral AoE effects, I guess this is a little bit better. Oh, I probably should have tried to use my Bloodborne spell. That was probably more important than playing around like the the small percent chances. Probably better to just use the it was probably better just to use my Bloodborne spell. I mean, I'm not gonna have it. I'm not gonna miss it, and it's probably not too bad because there's a good chance that I get to use it next turn anyway. Okay, so we have lethal. Not a lot to say there. We kind of just ran him out of threats. And he had to use a Dark Transformation on our Silverguard Knight, so after that, wasn't really much in it. Alright, so that was 2 pretty quick games. We versed someone other than a Lilith. Believe it or not, the meta is not filled with Liliths. It's mainly filled with Cassivas, which you haven't seen yet. but it's good to see some variety. So Reaver can actually be potentially a hard matchup because their 1/1s are really hard for Lyonar to deal with, especially with that Tempest. But then we're also Lyonar against Songhai, so it depends how they play. If they're a spell high and they play it well and patiently and draw a few Onyx-based heals, it can get a little bit tough. We could potentially think about keeping this if we're going to go down the play of just like try and drop Iron Cliffs on them, but our hand doesn't count for that. It's kind of hard to ramp into 5 mana, going first, so we'll get rid of this. I like the solid early plays, and I like this as a Lantern Fox answer. Okay, so we hit the Lion jackpot. I don't think we want 3. She's probably better than Tiger. Even though Tiger can be a good answer against the Heartseekers, so can Tiger. So we'll get the Tiger army going, I guess that's the plan. Next turn will be interesting as well. If he plays Lantern Fox, then we just go Lion plus Martyrdom. If he plays something else, that's when it's interesting. You can go double Lion, you can go Duelyst. Prismatic Illusionist, okay, that's basically similar to Lantern Fox. Let's get rid of the Martyrdom. I mean, we can consider letting it live, but it's probably a mistake. Because, like, if we consider letting it live, then we just give him a lot of different options. If you like Bear Seals our Duelyst, or he goes like Phoenix Fire, Twin Strike, something like that, then it gets out of control, and we don't have a Tempest in the deck, so we cannot afford to be greedy. We'll just bring this back here. I mean, it might just be better to keep it here because it's already a line, so it's not a lot of point protecting it. Yeah, possibly. Because, I mean, now if he goes here, it's only threatening, it'll kind of lose its celerity when attacking. But I don't know how relevant that is. Okay, so next turn is Bloodborne spell turn. We need to be really considerate of that. Alright, so I think the play here is actually pretty clear. I think I'll get rid of a Lion. My hand's a little bit small. So what we do here is we Bloodborne spell here, we run up the Mantle so I can also play a Duelyst. Can we attack him? And then we trade. Where do we want the Duelyst? I guess we want it. I suppose around Dancing Blades, I guess. I'll just stick this in his face. I don't really care too much about keeping it safe. Because we know the Duelyst. Like, Twin Strike isn't that good here, so I guess like Bear Seal, Mana Vortex, Twin Strike, he clears, and cycles, maybe that's the worst case scenario, but I mean a 2/1 Lion over here isn't doing much more than that, so I don't think there's a lot of reason to. This makes it a lot harder for him to use his Bloodborne spell as well. If I'm back here, there's lots of spaces that we can just never get to with it. And I think shutting down the Bloodborne spell preemptively is really, really important in this matchup. Because we don't have ways with our current deck to deal with the Heartseekers efficiently at all. Our only efficient answer, if you can say that, is Tiger. Which normally gets traded back into anyway. No Blood Tier Alchemists, no Tempests. I don't like that positioning here. Now my general is active, I think I would prefer blocking off from him. So what I can do is I can just drop an Ironcliff. Be a Lyonar, 5 mana, drop Ironcliff, or I can magnetize his Chakri, bring it into a position where my Duelyst can kill it, and then kill the Heartseeker, play this. That's using like 2 of my mana. I'm left with the Ironcliff in hand. So let's look at his last turn. It was Phoenix, Fire. So if he had Bear Seal, would he have Bear Sealed the Duelyst? I'm not so sure. I think we just do this anyway. We have the... We're going to have 2 10 health creatures potentially. I mean, yeah. So I think we just drop an Ironcliffe here. Get him for 5. We're going to have 2 10 health creatures with the Magnetize Divine Bond combo. So where do we want to drop this? I guess it doesn't matter too much. We need to get the chakra. So yeah, it's hard for him to answer both. If I had 2 2-drops, I might go for the Magnetized play. I'd have to have a really good think about it at that point. But if he like Bear Seals here, he needs something else. If he double Bear Seals, I guess that could be problematic. But then if he hits face, we just tying a Bloodborne spell, worst case scenario. So I think we're pretty fine. Don't need to overthink it. I think if we did anything else there, it's probably just us overthinking it, overworrying a little bit too much. So looking like a pretty good position here. Sometimes River can be annoying if they're running stuff like Deathstrike Steel, or multiple Heartseekers and stuff. Killing Edge. Okay. What else do you have? So we have 7 on board, and then we have 7 in hand. So unless my maths is terrible these days, we have 8. We could use Divine Bond for one damage on the Duelyst if we want to max BM. Alright. So pretty simple that one. Slyback has actually been going pretty fast, so we're going to get a 4th game in at least. So we didn't actually... Oh, we're versing this guy again. This could be a little bit of a hard matchup. We need a good start. I still think it's too greedy to keep Arclight, even though we saw his deck. Let's go try and get some aggression going. Let's get rid of this. We really want a 4-drop. And this is really important. If he doesn't have Ritual Banishing, or we can overload him with threats, so that's kind of be our win con. Because the late game, I think he beats us. Is there anything we want to be martyrdoming after that? Probably not that many martyrdom targets. So we'll just play Duelyst here. I mean, I can hit Sarlacc. Let's just hit Sarlacc and then we can consider our position. So I guess we'll just bring it in. It's a really nice damage threat when it's at 3 health. And if he uses a removal, that's the only thing that punishes us, not Spectral Blade. But Spectral Blade, we're still really far ahead on tempo. I mean, it's risky to hit Sarlacc there, but I don't think it's that bad. There's not that many players that can test the mana tile. But I mean, maybe it's not worth the risk. Get rid of Killing Mystic. So we're just looking for aggression. We really need to race him down. So I think I actually like trading the 1/1 in with a 2/1, so we can run to the mana tile. I think I'm going to play Duelyst plus Bloodborne spell instead. It's a bit more aggression. I mean, maybe better Ritual Banishing on our Tombstone. So I think that's fine. It's a little bit inefficient, but I don't want to play Duelyst out here. I don't want to give him free time. It's important we do this first. kind of annoying Sarlacc spawn, but at least we're putting some pressure on him. So if we get the Duelyst out first, they're obviously a little bit less vulnerable to Ritual Banishing, obviously, which is really, really important. And a card he's probably never going to get rid of in this matchup. And then if we can get through, you know, 2 of those, potentially we can get an Ironcliff Guardian to finish off the game. And we're putting him at a life total when, if we get that, it's very, very likely it'll end the game. And obviously if he has to, you know, Demonic Lure as an answer, in our deck we do have Magnetize as a potential answer. But obviously this is a Lyonar that's not as good against Lilith. Somehow we have found a bunch of Liliths now that we decided to play a Lyonar with that fine one. Okay, is he going to trade both? Oh, that's a good spawn. Okay, you're provoked, buddy. That's pretty good for me. Would have been really nice if they spawned together. Okay, Dancing Blade seems like it's going to be pretty bad. I mean, if we play Ironcliff, there's no like Dying Wish. Oh, well, no Death Watch activations on board. I guess we get punished by Ritual Banishing. So, okay, we need to start heading towards him. So we can either Sunbloom plus Tiger, or we can just Ironcliff. We haven't seen any real removal. I think we just Sunbloom. Yeah. I kind of like flying here. It means there's no way to, you know, halve the damage of it on board. We can potentially do it with our Bloodborne spell next turn. And it may even encourage him to use a removal spell on this. So we're in a position where he hasn't put a fast clock on us, not yet anyway. So we're just trying to outlast his removal, and we're not in a position where we have to go for it. So I want to be patient with this Ironcliff, because I have that Divine Bond in hand. If I was running a deck with Tempest, then the game plan will be a little bit different. We don't have to go down that Ironcliff Divine Bond path. We can just play for value, focus on drawing answers to Lilith's big threats, like Volparaevas and stuff, and, you know, kind of try and outlast them a little bit. But this way we definitely have that kind of linear win condition where we can't win late game. We need to find an opening. So we're going to try and exhaust removal. Having Duelyst is really good because it's kind of, you know, it feels bad to use proper removal on it, especially Abyssian-based removal, which just destroy. So what is that? Spectral Revenant? Okay. So Magnetize is really good for us, potentially. If he's going to kill off this, I think he should have done it first to block up the spawn here. Okay, he's not doing it first. So, Holy Immolation, that puts him down to 9. Divine Bond, so we're 1 off. Let's go to this. So we just do it. Well, maybe we don't Divine Bond. You can put him to 1. It's a bit all in though. Put it here. I don't want to put it in range of this initially. So if he doesn't have healing, that's a pretty high. If he's running Shadow Sister Kalan, then he'll probably be able to heal out of range of a Holy Immolation. If we put him down to 1, he only needs 3 procs. So I think this is probably the best play. And the Tiger is a really, really good draw, obviously. He needs a heal here. Most likely. Unless I'm missing something. Then he can maybe a provoke. Potentially. No, because of the way this provoke, I think he really needs a heal here. Ritual banishing? Shroud, okay. It's gonna be... Alright, that's actually... It's probably the best answer you could have had. Huh. Okay. So, a 2-drop is lethal? So I guess we get rid of Ironcliff. Alright. Oh, we don't have a Bloodborne spell. Oh. Whoops. I guess we should have kept Ironcliff then. I was thinking we can just Bloodborne spell. Oh, that's the wrong mana anyway. Okay, that's just terrible. That's just stupid. So we can Divine Bond, trade. Gosh, that Zen Rui was the only thing I could think of. Like, I didn't even think of it. Other than a heal. Okay, so we go for it, I guess. I guess we might Holy Immolation here. We have our Bloodborne spell. Yeah, so we'll just do this. It's not great. We don't want to. Nah, we need to be close to him. We'll take the risk of being in range of this thing. I mean, it's dispelled. Maybe it's too risky. 12, 16, 18. I think we just have to risk it at that point. That Zen Rui tune was really brutal. But we have to be in range with our Tiger and our Bloodborne spell to be able to kill him. And because, like, if you only have the one Tiger in hand, which we did have beforehand, like if we go 2-drop and then Tiger to reach him, then we can't Bloodborne spell our Tiger. So, are we dead? No more heals? No provoke? Well, actually, we win through provoke. Okay, so we got there in the end. I mean, we were ahead for the majority of this game, but like he had a really nice turn to try and stop us. The dispel into the yeah. Alright, so we got the win. So I think we versed 3 little decks. We beat 2 without Tempest, so I guess that's pretty good. That game, got a little bit shaky at the end, but we were ahead for most of it. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the deck. Didn't really get to show off Magnetize there, but I think, especially in that River game, you could see we had that backup plan. Like, he can't get away from these 10 health minions. So, you got that plan of just getting through the removal, especially with Duelyst, and then once you get that one, get that 10 health minion to stick, which you can actually play safely now if you really need to, because of Magnetize, then it's actually pretty good. So, you can really go through removal. That's another way to win, rather than just grinding them out or hoping it sticks. Anyway guys, that's enough for the video now. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed Lyonar. It's definitely a very, very strong deck. Arguably a top 2 general by some people. I think it's definitely top 3 at least. Probably top 2 as well. So anyway guys, that's enough for that time. If you want to see more of these videos, make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you next time.